Well, hello, Hebrew class. Thanks for letting me miss today for going to the doctor. I wanted to do a short video so we could go over the reading together, and I'll post this on YouTube. So we're looking at today Genesis 11:13. We're going to read through 11:13 to 11:25. So this is what the text says, and no, is that right? Yeah, 11:13. And Parksad lived, and notice it's Chaya, so not Haya, and Parksad lived after he begot Shelah 30 years and 400 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Shelah lived when Shelah was alive. That's called third there. 30 years, he begot Eber. And it came about, this is that lived word again, and Shelah lived after he begot Eber 3 years and 400 years, and he begot sons and daughters. 16. And Eber lived 430 years, and he begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he begot Peleg 30 years and 400 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu, and Peleg lived after he begot Reu 9 years and 200 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 2 years and 30 years, and he begot Serug. Kind of a pattern here. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 7 years and 200 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor, and Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 9 years and 20 years, and he begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 10, so that's 19 years you see in Akkad, and 100 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and did I read this one wrong? Oh, Nahor, yeah, okay. So, and this is Terah. And Terah lived 70 years, and he begot Avram, Nahor, and Haran. So this is an interesting chronological passage, and I will just pull up the document here, and we can look at this. There is a question about how all this chronology works out, and maybe you'll be able to post this document. In the description here, but you've seen it before. This is just part of going through and seeing what the dates say, and so it's just going through, and we're working ultimately to Joseph, who's the 23rd one in Genesis. So I think basically it's saying Adam lived the first 1,000 years. When Adam died, Noah lived the second 1,000 years. And then after Noah died, Abraham lived the third 1,000 years. And then ultimately we're going to get to David is kind of the 4,000 years. And so you have an interesting thing there. This document kind of walks through how you come up with those numbers. It's related to, when the Exodus happens and when the temple is built. Some debate there, but kind of just taking standard things. And then you convert it backwards, to get your BC number. I've said before, this is my number. I think it's wrong. I think actually Usher's number is right. I just can't find where my mistake is. And you see, like Luther did his this way. There's some questions, are there gaps? Is Canaan included or excluded? And there's some text critical stuff there. If you go with Usher, you get this really elegant thing of 3,000 years from creation to David becoming king in Jerusalem, and 1,000 years from David becoming king in Jerusalem to Jesus being born. You also get this elegance of David dying in 971, no year zero, and if Jesus died in 30, you get 1,000 years there. 4 years later, the temple is built, and 4 years later, 3.5 years later, the gospel goes to the world. So you get an elegance there. I wonder if that isn't right. If you just do the kind of graph numbers, so what you get is the flood happens in 1656 from year zero, and you notice after that point the life spans decrease massively. So you go from living basically 1,000 years to living 100 years. This is Enoch, who walked with God and was not. What's interesting about the chronology is if you follow this, and if this is right at all, here I'll just move out of the way. If you just add those numbers up, it actually means that Abraham lived, if this is Shem, that Abraham's life actually overlapped Noah and Shem, which makes Joshua 24:4, which says they were idolaters, it makes that all the more stunning. So don't skip over this portion. I will upload this video. You can just email me and let me know that you did the work for today, and I'll give you credit. Listen, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.